Earth debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Refracted Curvature, Brian's Logic, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the absolutely fantastic Politics Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you for asking. How are you?
Very good Friday.
Good to know. Let's warm you all up with the housekeeping question on topic, based on the pre-show. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
No, but I would like to hear what Brian was going to say in the pre-show when it comes to that question.
He could have just answered.
There's no point.
Thank you for the drum roll. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, wait, what?
Was that directed at me or Neil? This is not a good start.
Yeah, well, I tried to say it earlier, and you didn't want to know. So
No, I just wanted the other guy.
Now? That was when the guy was asking the question.
Yeah, well, I was in back and forth with the other guy. I just didn't want it to be 2 versus 1, so I shut you down, so it was fair on the other guy. That was all. Don't take it personally, please. Also, I did kind of want to undermine you as we were recording, and it was clear demonstration of my dominance over you, Brian, so there was that too.
Anyway, gas pressure gradient. I'll throw that out.
You want to know why we have a gas pressure gradient here?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. You can have a gas pressure gradient in two different systems, a closed static system or a closed dynamic system. A closed static system would be like a bottle of gas, right? Your average bottle of gas. But if you heat one end or one side of that bottle of gas, you will have a gradient if you heat the end or heat the top. The reason is you have a temperature differential then. You have a temperature gradient. Temperature gradient creates pressure gradient. What we live in is a closed dynamic system where we have a moving heat source, which is the sun, creating heat wherever it goes, and then the heat dissipates when it leaves. That's a constantly changing situation. And because of the sun doing what it does, we have gas cycles. If the sun didn't do what it did, we wouldn't have gas cycles. We wouldn't have convection. We wouldn't have convection cells. We wouldn't have boundary layers, all these things, weather, all this stuff. So it's all created by the sun. And the fact that we live in a closed dynamic system. Closed means contained. You can't have a gas pressure gradient without gas pressure, and you can't have a gas pressure gradient gradient without a temperature source.
Furthermore,
and a temperature gradient.
You can't detail what it is to be gradiated through altitude without a flat plane to reference in the first instance. So the description of the gas pressure gradient is, with respect to a horizontal plane of reference, is described from sea level.
Well, we should be able to.
You don't need a flat plane to have a pressure gradient.
Exactly. You don't need a flat plane to have a pressure gradient, no. But I'm saying, in terms of how we describe it with respect to a horizontal plane of reference, that would be sea level, when we describe the altitudes of the gradient of the pressure for Earth. That doesn't mean you require a plane of reference to have a gas pressure gradient. That isn't necessarily what I'm suggesting. You could have it in a bottle garden, and you don't need a plane of reference for it to develop a gradiated system. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the way we do mathematically describe it, interpret it, measure it, is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference when we talk about Earth.
So,
Yeah,
so if
we
we
measure
claim
it for you,
temperature,
horizontal plane.
if we
Yeah.
claim temperature being the cause of the gradient, then we should be able to calculate the work being done in the gas, right? To keep it in that
Calculate
gradient.
the work. That's what you just said. That's very expansive. Tell us more about this. Calculate the work being done on the gas. Sounds like you're a physicist.
But what?
Sounds like you're actually denying it, which is unreal. Where's
No,
the G in PV equals nRT?
What's the what?
Where's the G in PV equals nRT?
Well, it's not in there, but you can use barometric altitude. And
Yeah,
that
okay.
has G in
so
it.
in
Hold
any
on.
gas law, is G involved in any gas law?
Well, no, don't lead him that way. What's the V stand for?
Why not? That's
Because
exactly,
it's deviating into G. No one's mentioned it.
But that's what, but I'll
You
just
brought
go
up
straight to the
PV equals
source.
NRT. Let's just
That's what he's trying to deny.
beg of you.
Pressure. He's trying to deny temperature creating a pressure
So
differential.
what? Well, he can deny it
Yeah,
all he
and
likes.
you know what he's trying to insert.
Right, but it's in regards to
Right, you
space
deal with
being...
it then.
Because this is one of those times where I'm going to keep it right on the topic of the housekeeping question, because the housekeeping question, why do we have gas pressure without a container, segued away with delta X gas pressure gradient, explained by you by dynamic systems, denied by... And then I've got to put my brakes on at some point and go, no. Stop. Where I had him in the pre-show, you need containment. Outer space is fake. That's it. You want to know more? Okay. What is this? The meteorology channel? No! Flat Earth debate. Once I segue on to how we can prove Earth is being dealt with as a flat plane to reference the altitudes, we have proved Earth is measured flat for the altitudes, for the gradient, that needs containment. That's it. That's the end of this argument. Outer space, a very fundamental part of the heliocentric origin when you think you're on a ball, is debunked. And we want to educate these people now further, Brian. As grand as it is when we're on our own show to listen to you educate me in the ignorant position about this, I welcome it. But now, no, not a real politics server. You don't know this guy from Adam. Why are you throwing your pearls to swine like I just did?
Because there's listeners too. There's other people listening,
Yeah.
Nathan.
There's people listening, that's why. It's obvious why he was denying the temperature. A temperature gradient will create a pressure gradient.
Well, then you should be able to
Yeah, I know
calculate the
exactly
work
where
being
he's going.
done. You should be able to calculate
Sorry?
the work being done on the gases if you think that the
I'm
temperature
sure you
is
can
the
because
one.
it's temperature.
Well,
What
go
I-
ahead.
So,
Go ahead and calculate
Well,
it.
I'm sure you can because it's temperature. You know what I mean? Temperature creates. Are you denying the temperature creates pressure? Are you denying?
No,
kinetic
what I'm
energy?
trying to say is that you should be able to calculate the work being done on the gases in order to keep it in that
Yeah, like
gradient,
kinetic
right?
energy. Like how much kinetic energy the gas has. What would you use to do that? Would you use something like PV equals nRT? Would that be the kind
Yeah,
of
you just have
calculation
to
you'd use?
You just have to do it over like many steps in altitude, right?
Would you? Based on the temperature?
Yeah.
And based on the temperature and the pressure, you couldn't just use PV equals nRT? The reason is...
Yeah, I mean, you can also
do you know
find
what I
out the
mean?
volume of
Volume?
like the total gas on Earth if you were to do that, right?
Volume requires a container. You can't determine volume
Yeah,
without a container.
You keep saying that, but if we had a container, then the gas would
No,
just
I'm
fully
not saying that.
equalize.
That's just a fact.
That's the V.
I'm not
That's
saying
what I
that,
asked
that's
him
just a
about.
fact.
Hold on. That's exactly where I interjected last time. What's V? Volume. Well, what?
V is the volume of the system, so you should be able to calculate
Yeah,
the
we'll
amount
need.
of volume.
Well, all
there.
right. Well, we don't. Sorry. For a heliocentric world, what's V when we talk about gases? It would be. Let me enlighten you. It would be the volume of outer space. That's what it would be. That would be the area that we would describe. Why am I being talked to straight away? Yeah, that would be the volume. That would be the area of volume available to the gas. All of space is where the gas would disperse into. That's what gas does. It disperses into the volume. PV equals nRT, you say? What, the volume? Where's the volume? Oh, perhaps you had a misapprehension about some arbitrary Kármán line without containment that stops gas expanding into volumes, defiance of natural law. No, the volume for you with a globe belief is space. We'd all be dead Because as soon as you apply these mathematics, the volume would be vast, wouldn't it? We'd have no gas anymore. The gas would all bugger off into space. The volume. You know, volume, a space, the amount of space. It's curious that volume and space essentially equate to the exact same thing. In this instance, your space is outer space. And it would be an area for the gas to fill, and fill it must. It's a law of nature, dispersion, second law of thermodynamics, entropy. Space is fake because we are at pressure. For us to have this discussion about gas pressure gradients, we're at pressure. So we must be contained. Can't have gas pressure without containment. It's not like it causes more problems than it solves, as you stated, idiotically. No, far from it. It's a prerequisite, as I stated. You didn't acknowledge it. And then when you finally did, we seem to have segued away from the glorious victory that debunked space, when you conceded that we must have containment. Now, you don't just take arbitrary volumes up to the Kármán line. No, outer space would be the volume, and we'd all be dead. So, let's see if we can have some... Let's see if, in conclusion, we can have some concessions from this globe believer in terms of the understanding without a complete yammering through the top of me inviting concession. Perhaps if he hears me introducing the idea that I might want a concession from him, it's best if he starts talking straight through the top of that, because that will, overcome the fact that I'm going to ask you for concession? No, I need you to understand that space is fake, because you can't just traverse the Kármán line that isn't a container into an area of volume that gas isn't filling. It violates several natural laws. The V in volume would be outer space. Ergo, outer space is fake, and I'd like you to acknowledge that fact.
Gas does fill the volume beyond the Kármán line.
So we'd all be dead. Heliocentric model debunked. Excellent. Welcome to Flat Earth. There is no globe in a vacuum.
The molecules just don't have enough kinetic energy to, like, all go out there, right?
So you don't know what elastic collisions are. You clearly don't understand gas behavior. Sorry, no. Not have enough kinetic energy. Yeah. Nothing reaches absolute zero, ever. It will always have enough energy to disperse in whatever direction it... I'm still talking. It will still have enough kinetic energy in all circumstances to disperse in whatever vector it is traveling until it collides with the walls of a container. That is what gas does. It never reaches absolute zero. It will never run out of kinetic energy. You are wrong and don't understand gas behavior.
I never said it would run out.
His rebuttal, Nathan, sorry, 1 second. Your rebuttal is kinetic energy. When earlier you were denying kinetic energy because you were denying temperature, which is what gives.
I was never denying energy.
And gas, yes, you were. Yes, you were. You were questioning it. And kinetic energy, when a gas has kinetic energy, it has elastic collisions, which means it doesn't run out of energy.
Yeah, I wasn't denying temperature.
And your claim that the gases go off out into outer space is a violation of not just a violation of the second law, not just as your claim a total violation of the second law of thermodynamics and the third law of thermodynamics, but it's a violation of the first law of thermodynamics. Because what's recreating these gases are lost to this heliocentric space.
Yeah, so if gas fills all available space, then why doesn't the container just equalize?
I asked you some questions there.
Because I've already answered them, and you keep on
the gases that are lost to the heliocentric space?
Nothing is recreating them, okay?
Well, you've just debunked heliocentrism.
Indeed.
You've just shown how it does it, because the first law of thermodynamics clearly states that neither matter nor energy can be created nor destroyed by nature.
Yeah, so why does the pressure gradient
no, there's no follow-up question. Shout out to Unitox Femu. That's it. Globe debunked. Can we compare size of the atmosphere with vacuum? No. Unitox Femu. Thank you for the super chat, but no. Oxymoronic sphere-shaped air does not exist. Gases take the shape of their containment. They don't arbitrarily take the shape of a sphere around a rock in a massive volume that gas isn't filling. That's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. They use this word atmosphere, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air, like it does suddenly not fill space and take the shape of a sphere. But thank you for the super chat.
Also, you don't put...
Brian is wrong, by the way. I want to intro... Yeah, give me a second here to intro Succulent.
Sorry, Chris.
Okay. Do you want to move on to the next caller, or you got some wrap-up you want to do?
Well, I'd like to say to this original person that open systems don't have a volume. Only a closed system can have a volume. And he's claiming an open system, so he doesn't have a volume. He doesn't. He's claiming that we're losing gases to heliocentric outer space all the time, which is the heliocentric claim. But that's a violation of the first law of thermodynamics. Because if that was happening, we'd be constantly losing air pressure. If that was happening at all, then all the gases would just go there and diffuse into the available lower pressure volume of basically no resistance. So he denied temperature, then he tried to use temperature when he claimed. He denied temperature, then he tried to use temperature when he tried to claim kinetic energy with Nathan. So I don't know what's going on with this guy, but I'm sorry, buddy, but you need to learn a few things before you go.
Fair enough.
You're wrong about the
Another
Earth,
quick
Brian.
shout out to Unitox Femu, who says just to imagine. Okay, I mean, what imagine atmosphere, sphere-shaped air, oxymoronic, not filling containment because it isn't in containment. I struggle to do that, Unitox Femu, but thank you very much for the super chat.
Nathan.
Well, we got Jimbo. Hang on, Jimbo. Nathan, we got Jimbo here. You did speak to him in the pre-show. Jimbo, just keep it calm, dude, and stay on topic. And then Brenda, we'll see what happens after that. Jimbo has been waiting, Brenda.
Okay. What is containment?
Did you have a claim you wanted to make, or did you want to challenge something I've made as a claim?
I want to question one of your claims or challenge you on something. That's the best way to say it. What is containment?
What claim did I make?
No, what is containment?
Yeah, what claim did I make that you're challenging?
Containment of the gas. I'm just asking, what is containment? You said that there's no space. So what is containment?
So you're challenging the idea
barrier.
that we have containment for gas pressure. That's your challenge.
No, I'm not asking what is your
What are you
view on
challenging?
containment. No, I'm just. No, I'm not. I'm asking a question, not challenging. I'm just asking, what is containment?
Okay, why are you asking it? This isn't a dictionary. You can look it up like you looked up what science
No.
was.
Well, I mean, you said you studied this and you know this very well, and you're very educated. So, what is containment?
Something that's required for us to have gas pressure, ergo debunking outer space. We don't have an
Okay, how
outer
do you measure-
space. There's me answering him, and there's him immediately chanting through the terrifying response. The reason we describe the antecedent-consequent relationship that is gas pressure and containment is that you have a claim that there isn't any, if you're a globe believer. So you want me to define that which is a prerequisite antecedent-consequent to have gas pressure. No, I don't have a positive claim that requires me to define what containment is. What am I claiming that requires me to define it? This is us refuting your positive assertion that there is a sky vacuum. Me, I'm not making any claims in that regard. That's why I'm getting bullshit when you ask me to define things. Yeah?
Okay.
Or what am I claiming? Am I claiming a sky vacuum? No, I'm not. I'm refuting your global... I'm nearly finished.
No.
I realise that my responses that undermine your religious belief are triggering and you can't wait for your time to talk. You're not really listening to me. You're waiting to talk. Yeah, pin your ears back and listen. Yeah? I have no positive claim for me to facilitate or require me in any way to define what containment is. I don't have a positive claim about it. What I do is undermine your fundy religious belief fed to you by liars who claim to be floating around in Narnia, I mean outer space, a volume that gas isn't filling in violation of natural law. That doesn't require me, a non-claimant, to define bloody anything. So I ask you, what's your claim? Oh, sky vacuum? Yeah, that's fundamentally debunked. Because gas would have nothing to press on. What's that? What's a container? What's something you haven't got, mate? Gas would fill the fantasy sky vacuum you have in your religious belief. What's that? What's the sky? Ask nobody of me. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I define it as. I'm not making a positive claim about the sky. Okay?
Okay. What is Narnia?
Narnia is an imaginary place, like a sky vacuum in violation of natural law. A place where fantasists believe you might be able to traverse if you went through a wardrobe, or went through the Kármán line that isn't holding gas at pressure because it's not got anything to press on, but you wave goodbye in this fantasy Narnia-like land of sky vacuums to the gas pressure so you can look back on it. or take pictures of paintings, whatever you want to claim. But anyway, you look back at the Earth with its yummy gas pressure not dispersing into the area you're now floating around in as a liar at NASA, the area you believe in. Yeah? At Fantasyland. Like Narnia, no one's going through wardrobes to a snowy land with witches, and no one's going to a sky vacuum in violation of natural law. Hence my accidental comparison between two completely fictitious and fantastical worlds that you definitely aren't going to, but men claim exists. It doesn't. There is no sky vacuum. Space is fake. Again, you not being able to tolerate an actual conclusion, just waiting for your turn to talk. Space is fake. Your belief in it is ludicrous to me.
Okay, then what is above us?
I didn't make any claims about it. Was that not made abundantly clear to you?
No, I'm just refuting.
Reaching out to me as just reaching out to me as a guru. Now you realise your religion's wrong. So no, I didn't. I'll say it again as he's asked me again. No, I didn't make any claims about it. I don't need to make any claims about it. I refute your garbage beliefs about it. That doesn't mean I'm going to become your guru as you interrupt me incessantly as I try and explain things to you. I'm not your guru. In fact, I don't like you very much. I'm not going to use a horrible word like you used against me, like dick. But I find you quite insufferable, and I don't want to educate you. I'll tell an audience that's paying me that space is fake and use natural law to prove it as you incessantly waffle through the conclusions.
Are you a grifter?
Did I hear that you'll never reach absolute zero?
Sorry, the guy said it would run out of kinetic energy. That was a rebuttal to it, I believe.
Well, then you have to prove absolute zero, right?
No, he has to prove the gas would run out of kinetic energy. It was in response to the claim that gas runs out of kinetic energy. Were you paying attention to the discussion as it went back and forth?
Yes, because absolute zero would refer to the container.
Container?
Yeah, you said that we have to have a container, correct?
No, it's an antecedent consequent relationship. It's not up for debate. Unless you can show us, maybe you can, perhaps, I say it's not up to, can you show us gas pressure? Gas pressing on stuff, right? Without a container.
Can you show the gradient within that contained gas
my question.
pressure?
It's almost like he's going to be put into a position where he has to justify his non-belief in this antecedent consequent. Can you show us gas pressure without a container? Nearly there. Second attempt to ask the question to the guy that thought he was having a conversation with me till he was getting asked something, and then he's decided to talk through me. Try a third time. Given that I've said it's absolutely unequivocally an antecedent consequent relationship, you seem to be challenging that. Can you show us gas pressure without a container? Could you show us that?
Yeah, can you show me a gradient within gas pressure that's contained?
We dealt with this earlier. It's a delta X situation. First you have gas pressure, then you have gas pressure gradients. Obviously, when I asked you if you were listening to the flow of the conversation and didn't get a response, I can now infer the response because that was discussed about 7 or 8 minutes ago by Brian explicitly. He went through it in detail. But obviously you weren't listening. So obviously now that I'm pointing out this guy's inability to comprehend and listen to a conversation that's only 7 minutes old, he's going to talk through the top of me also. Because that's perfectly reasonable for a guy who literally can't pay attention to the conversation that's taken place thus far in the last 10 minutes. Okie dokie, son. No worries. Like I say, I find people like this fairly intolerable. My declarations of that will also be interrupted, and maybe I'll get called a rude word as I declare how intolerable people who incessantly interrupt the answers to their questions that are largely irrelevant. You know, someone's claimed gas will run out of kinetic energy, and there's been a response in terms of absolute zero. The claims being ignored, the rebuttals being focused on. But there we go. Meanwhile, space is fake. Happy Friday, Nathan. And thanks for the politics server, you're ace. I think he means thanks to the politics server, you are ace. Thank you, Himsake, for the super chat. Really appreciate the support.
I just want to point out that these arguments are getting more and more pathetic. They're asking about definitions of container now. That's what they have to resort to.
And the gas is closer to a heat source will lose energy.
Do I get to go now? Brian was incorrect. The Earth is an open system, and temperature does not cause the gradient on Earth.
Demonstrate.
I was not correct. I was not incorrect. I stated that you were claiming that other lad was claiming an open system, and temperature does cause gas pressure gradient. If you're claiming a gas, just so you know, Brenda, if you're claiming a gas pressure gradient without a container, then you're claiming gas pressure without a container. That'd be something you should be able to demonstrate then, isn't it? Because
I'm
that's a
claiming
direct
that the
claim of
Earth.
gas pressure without a container. Gas pressure gradient without a container is a direct claim of gas pressure without a container.
The
Have you
Earth
got a
is an
demonstration of that?
open. The Earth
Have you
is an
got also,
open system.
have you
I
got a
can't hear it,
demonstration
Brian.
of a gas
Brian,
pressure
you've
gradient?
got to stop
One
at some
second,
point.
no, this is a, hang on, Nathan. Also, I need you to, I want to know if you got a demonstration of a gas pressure gradient without temperature causing the gradient. They're the two things I need
So
from you, Brendan.
So the Earth is thermodynamically open. It receives the same amount of energy from the sun during the day
If it was,
as it dissipates at night, right?
Thermodynamics can't exist outside of a container. You can't have a vacuum,
that's false.
temperature, or gas pressure without a container. So you're claiming a completely open system. There wouldn't be any thermodynamics. There wouldn't be us. There wouldn't be anything, Brendan. You're talking rubbish.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Thermodynamics is about systems.
No, that's incorrect. Yeah, no, you're incorrect, Brendan. Not me. You're incorrect. Thermodynamics, the laws of thermodynamics are based around a system that is enclosed.
No, that's false. It also deals with open systems.
So
the Earth is open.
So the second law of thermodynamics, 1 second then, Brendan. Okay, the second law of thermodynamics, right? High pressure will always go to low, right? And hot will always go to cold. Right? You agree?
What was that again?
Second law of thermodynamics states that high pressure will always go to low and hot will always go to cold. Do you agree?
That's not what the second law states, but that's an interpretation of the second law.
In the second law, that's clearly stated in the second law. Anyone can Google that. You just
it's literally not what it says, but that's an interpretation.
Brendan's just after telling a total lie. Brendan's after just telling a total lie, stating that it doesn't state in the second law of thermodynamics that high pressure will always go to low pressure and heat will always go to cold. They're the two most well-known things from the second law of thermodynamics. It's literally stated. When you look up the second law of thermodynamics, that's the four things they are telling you.
Yes, that's correct. But the problem is that that's in defiance of their globe model, with it defying that law, so it has to be fundamentally denied.
In fact, entropy of gases, Brian.
Brian, the second law states that.
Actually, Brian's 100% correct, and one of the most widely stated irreversible changes is entropy of gases.
Yeah. I've released several university lectures from Yale and Oxford, and I can't remember the other one, that all dictate to their students what entropy is in terms of entropic dispersion, and they use gas in most examples. Yeah, gas fills space. Brenda is a liar. She's here to lie.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because the second law of thermodynamics doesn't comport with her religious belief in a sky vacuum. Therefore, gases in an open system won't disperse. Well, that's a defiance of the second law, and she will literally lie about what the second law is to Brian and a live audience because she's a glurf. You've got to lie to glurf. She's stamped that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong through the top of Brian, making his point nice and clear. Total lie, he wasn't wrong. But he's been interrupted by a glurf liar several times. He's been proven and demonstrated to be a liar now. Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, so that's incorrect. It states that entropy
See, now she's going to chant, you're incorrect. No, Brenda, it was put to you by Brian that it's a very well-stated principle in the second law that gas fills space, and he further qualified it by describing how high pressure moves to low pressure, hot moves to cold. You denied that. That just makes you a glurf liar. In other words, I wouldn't at all blame Brian if he just, that's it, it's his victory. The moment you're just shown to be a disingenuous liar, why would the conversation continue? You're not worthy of talking to us anymore. You're not a worthy opponent. You never were, but this isn't my server. I wouldn't have you on mine. You suggested that my kids should be taken away from me, so I wouldn't have you on my server. I permanently banned you. Obviously, we're not there now. This is open to anybody. But, me viewing you as a disgusting human being based on your attitude towards me and my family isn't anything to do with your total lies and ignorance of the second law of thermodynamics when it comes to this audience. But there we go.
Why are we
the second law of thermodynamics doesn't apply to the globe model.
Yeah, they can't even get into the second law. They appeal to gradients that starts at sea level. I don't know what they're even doing in this topic.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I segued it the first time we had this do-si-do go around to a flat plane of reference, the sea level that's used when you're describing the altitudes of these pressure gradients. You need a flat Earth to describe them. That's a fact.
I just must point out that Brenda also lied when she said that temperature does not create the pressure gradient or a gas pressure gradient.
Intrinsically
That's a complete
linked.
lie.
It's obvious, Brian, to everybody with half a brain, but we have to debate these things.
Yeah, it's just what we're debating is either people who don't know what they're talking about or people who do know it but are just straight out lying. Brenda, the first guy didn't know what he was talking about. The guy was talking, he didn't understand it from what I could gather. But I know for definite Brenda's just lying.
Yeah, the 14.7 psi starts at sea level.
Yeah, so outer space is fake. I'm glad we covered it as a housekeeping question early on. Meanwhile, once you get to the Fundy's point where he understands gas pressure requires containment, suddenly we're being asked about why gas doesn't run out of, what was it he was claiming, kinetic energy. So suddenly we're the arbiters of these things. No, it's just space is fake. That's it. That's my job done. Like, you want to know all sorts of other things. Did you not have Google when you were looking at what science was? Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Off you go. Space is fake. Don't forget it.
And why was that man arguing against temperature to only then use kinetic energy? That means either he didn't know what he was talking about, he didn't know what gave the gases what gives the gases kinetic energy, or he was just being dishonest because he was switching from talking to me to talking to you.
Again, a fundamental
Well, it made him
ignorance
sound
of the
smart by saying it works.
a fundamental ignorance of the intrinsic link these things have. And when he uses words, as you say, like kinetic energy, you demonstrate admirably to people who do understand the intrinsic link that you don't understand that, which is intrinsically linked by your own bloody words when you deny it. It's pathetic. But you have to break these things down so slowly whilst being called a dick. Obviously being yammered through by a liar like Brenda saying you're wrong while you're trying to explain these things, Brian. That's how it goes for us as flat earthers, isn't it? That's the life we lead.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
for
even
our
with the
own,
other guy.
Hold on, Brian. Sorry. Go ahead, AJ.
So for our own YouTube audience here in Discord on the politics server, I've just dropped a citation in the side chat. The most widely cited example of an irreversible change is the free expansion of gas into a vacuum.
Exactly, AJ. What we're dealing with is like with that other guy earlier on. He came in with it was a very expansive physics type question, but surely you had to calculate the work being done, this kind of stuff. And then I asked him, so where is G in PV equals nRT? And he said it isn't in there. Where is it in any gas law? And it wasn't in any gas law. Then he asked about how are you going to calculate? Well, we'd use PV equals nRT or one of the other gas laws that G is not involved in. Do you know what I mean? We're using, like, so how are we going to calculate, how are we going to determine the work being done through the very thing that doesn't involve the thing that you need to involve, which is G.
I'm going to read
no gas law. Go on.
I was going to say, I'm going to read a quote from Professor George Porter, who's a Nobel laureate. You'll be familiar with it as I read it out. Now let us look at some examples of spontaneous change and see how they are accounted for in terms of the second law of thermodynamics. We'll take the simplest first and look at changes where only the entropy changes. Now perhaps the simplest of all of these changes is the expansion of gas into a vacuum. I have in one of these bulbs some bromine, and in the other I have a vacuum. And if I open the tap between these two, you will see spontaneously the bromine rush from one to the other. Now that is the simplest change we have, perhaps, because all that we can have is a change in entropy. In this case, the expansion into a vacuum, nothing else is involved. There's no change, there's no energy change, there's no temperature change. There's no change except entropy. Professor George Porter, Nobel laureate.
Isn't that the video you played?
Yeah, I frequently play him
Nathan, you're
actually saying,
wrong.
yeah, when he demonstrates it with the two bulbs, one's got a vacuum in it, the other's got a gas in it. He opens a tap between the two, and the gas fills the space.
Videos
Yeah,
on the
everyone-
Discord chat.
I have a question.
Who was that?
If everything that goes up must come down, where's down on a gas molecule?
Yeah, exactly. Gas is expanding in all directions. So everything doesn't come down. That's their assertion. They need you to believe is the case.
So
to
gas-
assert we've got gravity.
With gas, there is a flowing up and down with convection. That's caused by temperature and controlled by temperature. Well, caused by temperature.
But gas forever expands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but temperature depends on
Okay.
temperature. Temperature will the cooler convection is cooler, a cooler and warmer fluids replacing each other.
Buoyancy
So
gradient.
as warm gas rises, cooler gas will flow down. That's why we have weather, high and low pressure systems.
That's why we also have a buoyancy gradient.
It seems he doesn't seem to be listening to you, Brian. He seems to be waiting for his opportunity to chant the next thing. So I don't know if he's actually listening to
No, it's not an opportunity. If what goes up must come down.
You're just talking straight through the middle of me and trying to say stuff, but you're not.
Yeah, that's the problem. I assume from that little outburst through the top of you that he's got a fundamentalist globe belief, and what you're saying is troubling. What goes up must come down isn't true.
Plane of reference is irrelevant.
That's correct.
John's just said that to describe the up or the down, you'll need a horizontal plane of reference. Absolutely correct. But in this instance, to say what goes up must come down. No. Look at clouds. Yeah, they're not coming down, are they? They're part of a gas expansion and phase change. They'll come back down as rain, not gas. The gas has gone up. Was that you saying? What goes up must come down? Not unless it changes phase. If it doesn't, it's just going up. It's expanding from ground level upwards. What's that? Gravity? It doesn't exist in this context, does it? There's another fundy chanting through the conclusion.
No, that was AJ. Sorry,
sorry,
I was going
AJ.
to say. Unfortunately, he's run away. He's run away from you. Yeah, the weekend globe debater dipped.
Fair enough.
Weekend warriors, huh?
Yeah, he was here to flex his intellectual superiority in a room full of dumbos as far as he was concerned. We even detailed them and gave examples with people like Leafy as a segue. And then when it actually came down to him defining why he got a globe belief that I smirked at, he said science, and then the moment I point out it's a category error, it's rumpusing and I'm getting insulted and called a dick. It was great. Perfectly timed, as we'd literally discussed that very Dunning-Kruger scenario prior to him having it. It was epic.
Yeah, I find with a lot of the Globers, they come in with not the ones who are seasoned, but the ones who aren't seasoned. They'll come in with these big, massive, expansive questions that are big, loaded with loaded words. But when it comes down to it, they can't back up any of the stuff that they want to talk about. That's been my experience in 9 years. In 9 years, they're paper thin. Once you press on it, your finger goes through.
You know what I find hard? Something as simple as you can't have gas pressure without containment, right? Instead of them realizing that, intellectually thinking about it, no, they'll look to find the answer how you can have gas pressure without containment. And there is none.
So there's a
But
question.
they'll believe whatever heliocentrism dictates.
This is an unusual circumstance that doesn't normally befall us. There's actually a question that one of my chat participants has put to you guys in politics. So I don't know who might answer this, but I'll ask it anyway. So Iron26, who's one of my patrons, says, do 24/7 suppliers support hotline for Globers who are suffering?
Yeah, they can come in here 24 hours a day and speak to us about their issues. We can counsel them.
So you got Nathan. This is 1 decade. This is the problem. What I'm noticing at the moment is it seems to me like these Globers are going through a psychological dilemma. They're being presented with the truth. We're demonstrating how the Earth is measured flat and horizontal and level. We're explaining about gas pressures. Now they can see this, they understand it, But the moment they admit it's true, they have to get rid of the globe belief. And that's a psychological dilemma for them that they're in. That's the way I'm looking at it.
One deck. I'm experiencing it personally with my oldest son, Jacob. Every single day. He's in serious, serious pain.
Oh, bless them all.
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. Yeah, if any Globers out there need a bit of counselling, we've got Crit here in the room. Crit is will be very gentle with you guys.
And can I just do a call to action to my own audience? Sorry to break up the flow. If you have been affected by the issues discussed here on Flat Earth Debate today, you can call 1-800-SAMARITANS if you are a Globe believer.
It's really good to break down this idea where it's good to break down the idea where they think flat Earth has harmed humanity in some manner, shape, or form. Because then they'll come up with some sort of shtick. They'll say, I would have a flying car if it wasn't for flat earthers. Or something along those lines. And once you get them to say something so over the top ridiculous, then you can actually get to some sort of conversation about that. Like, why do they think this is, like, why do they
Let me
put
get this straight.
flat earthers?
You think that once they can reach a point that they can claim victim status for something that a group that's been ascribed to the nature of the territory in terms of how it's navigated and expanded the known world makes them a victim, and therefore they can, what, put their hand out and cry? And is that really what you're suggesting?
No, because I didn't articulate well. Because they'll come in here and say flat earthers are a fringe minority group who do not matter. They're so minuscule. They're completely irrelevant. And they're to blame for everything wrong in the world. Once you're able to get that contradiction, then they'll have to either play the victim card and be like, you're harmful, and they say, well, why are you here? Or it'll defuse the situation.
We had it yesterday from Dom Jolly and Fight the Flat Earth. They're a joke. I use them as entertainment. Simultaneously, though, they are actually the gateway drug to much more serious things, and they should be taken extremely seriously and dealt with, and I do take this very seriously.
Yeah, it's a very contradictory, broken worldview where they want entertainment and they're looking for it, they're seeking it, and their actions are harming the world because they're advocating for more content of the same type.
But no, it just hurts them. That's more projection, right? They think it's really funny. Flat Earthers are stupid. We know we're on a globe. Enter Flat Earther, who challenges their belief and puts them in a position of cognitive dissonance. You're evil. You're making the world a bad place. No. You feel bad because suddenly your belief's been challenged, and you blame me for it. Oh, well. Don't care. Meanwhile, they might be right. We might be, if you consider us part of the group, a very small minority. Okay. Does it change the nature of the world? Does it make me wrong? Does it mean my arguments fail? No, none of those things. Your appeals to consensus are irrelevant. Doesn't make any difference to how I argue. I feel like a minority in Flat Earth. So, you as the outsider, as a globe believer, looking at me as a combined group member of Flat Earth as being small and insignificant. Yeah, imagine how I feel. I'm in the minority of minorities, my friend. Does it mean my arguments don't win? Does it mean the nature of the plane we measure is any different? Nah, not at all. What's that? How do pressure gradients work? Why am I a weatherman? Space is fake.
Just on the back of what Chris says there, it's not. It's in line with it, but it's not exactly the same. I have been accused in the past, more than one time, of holding back the progress of humanity. Me.
We expanded the new world.
1,400 subscribers.
We expand. Oh, as an individual. The flat Earth, that is to say, the fact Earth is flat, is the basis that expanded the known territories. Yeah, the new worlds were discovered with flat Earth navigation processes. So, what do you want to say? We've held back the world? No, we've expanded it with flat Earth measurements. What are you talking about?
That's correct.
You could even
You're
suggest.
absolutely right, Nathan.
Again.
I said you're absolutely right. We did advance humanity.
We didn't. The fact that Earth has been measured out and mapped and expanded out in terms of what we discovered that was already in existence, you know, that's not us as a group being able to be ascribed as benefiting humanity in terms of us because we know Earth's flat. The fact that that is how we've just navigated the world and expanded the world is matter of fact. I can't take any credit for it. I can't relinquish any credit from Globers for it. It just is what it is. We have factually expanded out the world flat. That's how the known territories were navigated to, and that's how we found our way back from them. There is no ambiguity in terms of how it was done, and it is still done that way because Earth is flat. That's not like, well, look how well I've done to expand the Western world because I'm a flat earther. Get me, aren't I great? No.
If we're going to get blamed, hold on. If we're going to get blamed for something, then we're going to take credit for everything.
Take credit for telling people they've been deceived. Don't become their guru. Don't suddenly pretend you know what the sky is, and you'll be all right. You know, if you open your eyes to somebody that they've been lied to and they suddenly turn on you, then unfortunately that's the end of that relationship because they suddenly think that you exposing the lies that they have fallen short of recognizing are your fault as the messenger. No. Or that you've got to somehow fill in the gaps that the lies have now left in their life. No. I'll tell you it's measured flat, though. I'll tell you that it does get measured flat to expand the territories. I can demonstrate how the known world was expanded out to the new worlds, formerly in outer space, as we travel towards the horizon, measuring a flat Earth as we did so. Those are all facts. Nobody can contest any of it.
Yeah, the other guy wanted a guru. He was asking what the sky is, then what's above us.
Yeah, his question was formulated as, how does the pressure gradients with respect to sea level form? Man, you're so far away from heliocentrism at that point.
Yeah, that's why I keep
Why are you asking me that?
Exactly, as much as Brian's very, very knowledgeable, and as I said at the time, if we were on our own show, I would let it go for 5 hours. I have done it recently, right? But in this scenario, it's like, no, let's just cut to the chase here, put the brakes on. Earth's being proven to be a flat plane for reference in terms of altitudes of these pressure gradients, and furthermore, they wouldn't be at pressure if the sky was a vacuum. Fundamentally, categorically undermining and destroying the globe paradigm in every single respect, and furthermore proving that Earth has been measured flat. That's it, that's the end. Game over. Earth's flat. If you didn't know already, now you do.
Yeah, but when someone comes with a smart-ass question like he did, I think we should unleash Brian on him.
You see,
like he had some sort of knowledge.
It's only a smart-ass question when it's from an opponent that hasn't conceded containment at that stage, when you're in debate about it. When it's Brian and I discussing it, well, brilliant. Or you, Neil. I just mean anybody that's not... might be adversarial in the discussion, like the other day when we were discussing the intricacies of heliocentric orbital motion for the moon. Again, that was the discussion that went on for 5 straight hours, right out of my wheelhouse, right in the heliocentric paradigm, figuring out the geometry derived from flat planes into orbital motions, and how they'd function if we assume the moon was moving about a universal axis, but simultaneously rotating about its own axis in their claim once in a 28-day period. Well, does that mean it does rotate about its own axis if it's tidally locked to the globe? That discussion went on for 5 hours. Not even flat Earth proving. Occasionally, John gets the chance to pop his mic open and say, well, you'll need a flat plane of reference for all of these descriptions. We're in La La Land. But ultimately, those sorts of things can be discussed so we can advance our own heliocentric understanding. It's very, very worth it. But when it's some tosser that's just come along and started telling you you're wrong and telling you you're a dick and challenging every word you say with ignorant positions to challenge them with, you're like, oh, you're becoming more and more irritating as I talk to you. Why would I discuss what the sky could be by speculation? Because you're just going to use it against me. It's not because you actually want me to be your guru. You want me to be wrong in my speculation so you can use that as a tool against me. Again, we've done this for so many years. We know the MO of every single opponent. Nothing's new.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the same guy.
Hold on, Neil. Go ahead, whoever it was from Discord.
on the flat Earth, when you're standing still and you get ready to take a step forward, right? And you take a step forward, does your body go up and then back down to your foot?
I don't understand your question.
Are we just slithering across this flat Earth, or are we stepping?
Are we slithering
got a
or
gravity
stepping
body.
across the flat Earth? Is that really your question?
So when you take a step, does your body motion go up and then back down?
A little bit. Swing my hips too. What's the point?
I don't know what kind of shoes you got on today, Nathan.
Bouncy ones. What's your point?
Running barefoot.
Like, does this have a point attached to it?
Walking is a movement
Well,
forward.
you're taking flat Earth over a distance, right? But you're using technology to do it. You're not actually walking it, right? Because when you walk, you go up and then back down. So how, therefore,
don't.
can it be completely flat?
No, you don't. You push a step forward when you walk.
Oh, hold on, Brian.
Toe
Is
to
this guy
heel,
a
toe to
Bev?
heel.
Can you both just a second? Both of you
I
stop.
mean, y'all are going to
We're
skip
immediately into
gradients. I
audio
gotta come up
chaos.
with
We haven't even got
something
clarity on the question. He's talking straight through the top of the host. Brian, I just need to get clarity on what he's actually claiming and what he's suggesting we might have claimed for him to challenge, or if he's challenging something. So, just one more time, my friend. What exactly are you suggesting? Because I'm not clear.
We put him on mute. I think it's a Bev sock. Somebody coming in here to
Oh,
give it.
I can unmute him, but Brian was correct, yeah? He's trying to say you leave the earth and come back down when you walk, and Brian says, no, you're pushing yourself forward, propelling forwards. He would actually be describing jumping if we were going to leave the earth and then come back down, but what the point of this is on a flat earth, I got no idea.
Exactly, that's all I
Well,
want.
this is the psychological dilemma.
Now we've got audio chaos from Neil. The guy who was talking. Fair enough. I don't care what camp he's from. I just want clarity on what he's asking.
I wasn't saying we were jumping. When did I say we were jumping? I said when you take a step forward, your body goes up and then down.
The body goes up and then down.
Or is everybody just hovering
now you're yammering
upon
through
it?
me. You left a pause. I started responding. Now you're talking again. What I got as you started talking through someone else was the body goes up and down. Right. What I need is a clear and concise.
Dude, you're a goofball. There's my talk through.
Again, is it just me, audience?
No, he's in a
to
psychological
communicate.
dilemma.
I start appealing to my audience in the gap, and then this guy starts talking again. These people aren't reasonable. It's not like he can communicate in a reasonable fashion with another human being. He asks something, leaves a pause, someone else starts talking to respond, he starts talking. It's fairly standard globe-believing MO. But all I want, I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to get clarity from him. I'm trying to help him expand on his question so we can reply to it. He doesn't even want that. Yeah, there's not reasonable people in this discussion, it seems. I'll try again. Last attempt. I think it's the fourth. What exactly are you claiming?
He's gone. He dipped, yeah? He made his
ducked
comment
out.
over the top and he jumped. Yeah.
So he only wants the audio chaos. Okay.
Can I clarify his claim?
That we're bouncing up and down? Go ahead if you feel necessary.
Why is my body, when moving forward, going up with respect to a horizontal plane of reference and down with respect to a horizontal plane of reference if it is a horizontal plane of reference?
If you're moving forward, you're going forward on the horizontal plane of reference.
Please
that
help
was
me.
his question.
Okay.
That was his question.
That's no point though, does it? What's the relevance?
Horizontal plane to describe it, maybe? I don't know.
I don't even know how you could clarify him as a Bevite. I don't even know what he was talking about.
He's in a psychological dilemma, obviously.
Either way, it didn't make sense.
Like my son.
Didn't make sense to me, so whatever. Fine. Moving on.
He wasn't claiming you go out and then back in as you move forward. That wouldn't have made sense, would it?
Oh dear.
That was my question. But working like a man, so I got to keep working, guys. Can't be to every attention span that you need me to be.
But nobody required anything of you.
Okay, you're providing that flat Earth is at a relative position of not moving, standing still.
Okay, can I respond without you immediately chanting through me?
A delite.
Shh, Neil. No, that's not a positive claim. Yeah? There's a positive assertion from globe believers that Earth is moving. That is the positive assertion. Saying something isn't moving isn't a positive assertion. It's not something I'd defend as a claim. There's no need to. It's not a claim.
Okay, I just used your claim. I said flat Earth represents that, did I not?
No. Flat Earth is a description.
So now flat Earth is
there
moving?
There we go, there's me answering. Flat Earth is a
Yes,
description of a... There's the second attempt. Flat Earth is a description of an aspect. In the words flat and Earth, there's no... I also positively assert that Earth is not moving. Number one, you wouldn't need to do that. It's a non-positive claim, second attempt. Furthermore, that's not contained within the words flat and Earth. So no, it's just seems like now, given your insistence, it's just a straw man you want to respond to. No, it's not a positive assertion.
It's not a straw man.
Yeah, it is if you keep attacking it when I'm making it abundantly clear that it's not a positive assertion. It's a non-positive claim.
A non-positive claim. So when you say that when we're standing still, the Earth is not rotating and we are at a stationary fixed position, correct?
Right, do you want to give me a quote where I said that firstly, but further to that, to say Earth is not rotating is a contrapositive to the assertion that we are rotating. The positive claim now I'm pointing out for the second time is a positive claim, let's put that slightly differently, an outrageous claim that needs substantiation. Yeah, not spinning. What, you mean not the positive claim that we are from your side? No, not spinning is incorporating a fundamentalist zealot belief that I don't hold that you need to substantiate. Not my non-positive claim in rebuttal to your affirmative assertion that we are spinning. That might have been a lot of words, but hopefully that conveys the point. I don't have a positive claim of anything in this regard. You do. You need to prove it's spinning.
You just gave a positive claim that I said that it was spinning.
Yeah, you asserted that I said it wasn't. Again, a reassertion of the obvious position you do hold to assert that I would declare that something isn't happening that you make the positive claim of when you use the word spinning. Not spinning. Yeah, that's you saying that.
Does flat Earth come to an agreement that you're on a stationary plane?
It's a fourth attempt. Non-positive. Right, not a unicorn. Prove it. I'll try and reiterate how this is. Sorry, are you suggesting for 1 second Earth's not a unicorn? Sorry, prove, with your burden absolutely being reasonable, that Earth is not a unicorn. Prove that standard. Non-unicorn. I mean, it's not like I'm saying it is a unicorn here or anything. It's not like a unicorn would be the outrageous positive claim. A non-unicorn, like you obviously positively assert, prove your non-unicorn Earth. You see how that's unreasonable?
What's the circumference of your unicorn, sir?
Exactly. You're someone picking up on this absurdity. Thank you.
Keep running, Nathan. Keep running. Because your whole assertion is that flat Earth is a stationary plane.
The Earth ain't
It's
flat.
not
This
an
guy knows it.
assertion.
Right, dude.
It's
We've done this.
given.
We've done this do-si-do.
He's a child abusing,
I'm only talking to
grifter.
one
Go beat
guy,
your
and
kid.
now I seem to be yammered through by someone shouting. No, dude. I've tried to explain to you. I think this will be the 5th time that it's not a positive assertion to say something isn't something. Yeah, like not being unicorn isn't a positive claim I can hold you to. Not reasonable. You saying not spinning will prove it's not spinning. No, that's not how this works. The burden of proof is on the person making the positive claim. The outrageous claim, your positive, outrageous claim that Earth is spinning has no burden I have to justify or satisfy when you demand that I say it's stationary. That's non-positive. 6th time. Is this all you've got? Because we're just going around in the same do-si-do over and over again.
Kick him out for what he just said. Kick him out.
No, that was someone else, dude. That was Rob Noxious who came in and yelled all that out over the top. That wasn't the guy that you were talking to, Rob Noxious.
Says something stupid like that. He should never be allowed back in here for that statement.
Thank you, Neil. You've now latched onto whatever it was doing. I wasn't paying attention to. I don't care. Either way, mission accomplished by whoever it was.
Well, I want to go back to chasing and say, well, maybe he can prove his positive claim, which brings us back to some of your opening questions. Who's ever measured this rotation of the Earth to prove it exists?
You'll need a flat plane for that. Axis of rotation with respect to a horizontal plane. To describe axial rotation needs a flat plane.
Your flat plane would represent 0, correct?
My flat plane would represent 0. What would 0 do you mean?
Well, you have to have a definition of 0, right? Start.
Like sea level.
No, you said flat plane, not flat.
I was just talking to one guy. I've clearly triggered 4. Like sea level.
You said flat plane, not flat ocean.
Try a third time. You said I'd have to have a 0. I said, what for? What kind of 0? You said for the ground, for the flat Earth. And then now he's chanting through me. It seems he's already lost. Immediately defeat. Defeat by my opponent. Summarising his loss, chanting through me. Obviously, you've lost, because I'm now summarising my win. What, like sea... That's like all the oceans and that, like covering the whole world and that. Yeah, see. Yeah, level... What, having no part higher or lower than another and referencing everything in terms of elevation everywhere for all things ever on Earth? Yeah, I do have a 0 mean sea level. Yeah, it doesn't seem after the 4th attempt that I'm going to get that through concisely without someone deliberately and intentionally just trying to wind me up by chanting through me, because they're triggered. What, you thought you had a little win with you must have a 0, and then I referenced something that's got the entire world as a reference, as a horizontal plane, known as sea level. Maybe 5 attempts to yammer that through an attempted refutation, what, by chanting through the top of it? No, mate, I do! We use it quite frequently. You'll need it too when you make your globe claims. Yeah, a level plane with respect to a vertical datum with a 0 point on it. Yeah, that'd be sea level, mate. Maybe if I say it 7 times, you'll tolerate it and accept this 0 that you thought you had a little gotcha with. You didn't. Embarrassing, right? Maybe chanting through the top of my win will overcome that embarrassment. It weren't a gotcha, mate. Did you want to respond?
No, he's dipped again.
Oh, it seems every time someone suffers an embarrassing loss, they decide that they'll just run away, rather than concede the devastating loss that they face at the hands of flat earthers here. They'd rather run like cowards.
Well, even in the Earth curve calculator, you reference your 0 as mean sea level. That is, that's what they call a tangent. And the imaginary line into space is actually labeled sea level. The imaginary line is the curved one drawn beneath sea level that they believe the horizon will appear on.
Yeah, that didn't revolve in a conversation beyond somebody who thought in the back of their mind that they could have a nice little gotcha with a flat earther in a Discord server that they'd probably never been in before. Oh, you've got to have a whole 0 point for your whole flat earth, haven't you? Yeah, I have, sea level.
Hey, AJ, Rob Noxious should never be allowed in here again.
What's your bee in your bonnet for?
Yeah,
Rob Noxious is a troll.
He's been banned at the moment.
I'll tell you later what he said, Nathan.
Yeah, I know exactly what he said. It's
something
all
about
good.
Child abuse.
Don't stress.
Said something about child abuse. I assume he was calling me a child beater, something like that.
I didn't want to say what he said, but since you did, yes.
Right, again, immediate concession of loss before even entering into the debate forum. Called an ad hominem attack.
Yeah, don't focus on what trolls say. The surface level in their Earth curve maths, the surface level is actually a tangent. They're calling surface a tangent. You're standing at the beach, looking out to the horizon. You know, especially on a calm day, you can see the water nice and calm. They're saying you're standing on a tangent. That's what they're trying to tell you. How stupid they are.
Yep. And well, when they try to refract it up to surface level, you can never mathematically reach horizontal from a curved line as long as it has R in it. If there is an R, it is not a straight line by definition.
Exactly. What they actually do is when you're standing looking out at the horizon, they're claiming that what you're standing on is a tangent line, right? A straight tangent line that goes from your feet straight out. And they're over 6R, right? Whatever degree they need to, depending on the distance to the horizon, will lift up their horizon to meet that tangent line that you're standing on, giving you the impression that you're standing on a flat plane with an horizon.
So let me get this straight, right, yeah. Brian. Let me get this straight. They don't admit that the Earth is horizontal stationary, but they admit that they're standing on a flat horizontal imaginary line.
Yeah, and that the horizon has been lifted up from below that line by an over 6R non-refraction, and to meet that line, giving you the impression that that line and the horizon are all one. But what John just said,
mathematically impossible.
Yeah, because there has to be a curve between you and it within their maths, so that they're flattening out their globe as well as expanding it via its radius while you're standing on a tangent.
Yeah, they keep on trying to blow that balloon up to make it flat, but it's just not ever going to be flat if it's curved.
I mean, if the horizontal plane of reference is standing on is imaginary, then it's possible it could be curved as well, maybe.
Not if it's a horizontal plane or a straight plane, because their whole mathematics is based around. Their mathematics is all based around where their horizon is. They're over 6R, whatever it is, whether it be 7, 10, 50, 100, as I showed, over 3,000 over 6R, for over 3,000 over 6R for one observation. They have to go off the distance to the horizon. That's what they have to do. So they determine via this height on a globe, my horizon is this far away. But the horizon is further than that, because it's always further. Then there's no such thing. There's never been in existence an horizon that matched their geometric globe edge in distance from the observer. So what they have to do is all have a constant mathematical refraction added in to every observation. And it's depending on how far away the horizon is based on the other, as well as the use of the observer height, they then calculate how much over 6R they need to add to make their horizon on their globe be that distance away. But then they're also having you standing on a tangent, meeting this point, taking away all curvature, and even as John said, it's mathematically impossible, because there still has to be, the tangent then would have to become, John, you would concur, that tangent would have to become a chord line at that point with what they're claiming. But they're not.
So,
they're still keeping a tangent, Brian, but lifting it. Go on, one deck.
So the refraction is, I'm just saying, so basically they're using refraction to turn the horizontal into an apparent location, not physical.
Well, no, they're not. The horizontal is a tangent. There's no plane refraction involved at all. What they're doing is they're claiming a mathematical refraction that is not refraction, that's based off an R value that's never been measured, because you can't measure it because of the refraction, the non-refraction that's mathematical refraction that's based upon it. Do you know what I mean? It's a circle of nonsense. And then they're claiming that the tangent you're on just happens to meet the horizon at whatever distance the horizon happens to be in reality. That is the amount of over 6R they're going to add to make that horizon that distance away from you as the observer. And that tangent meets that horizon, giving you the impression you're on a massive flat plane.
The horizon is a circle, Brian.
Flat then, two-dimensional.
Yeah, which makes it mathematically impossible to be curving. The R value of that circle can't be curving.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Brenda?
What I mean by what? The horizon is the circle. It's the point at which the Earth curves away from itself and blocks your line of sight.
No, 360 degrees. Your eye line, your eyesight will give you a 360-degree circle if you spin around. The horizon's not a circle.
You see it all the way around when you turn around 360. Therefore, it's a circle.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
your
a straight
eyes.
line.
That's your eyes. That's literally like the barrel distortion of your own eyes. The problem
The
with
Earth
you, Brenda,
curves away
is that
from itself.
It's not an artifact.
She just said
it's
the
not an
Earth
artifact.
curves away from itself. That's so nonsense.
And that's what I mean, that it obstructs itself.
So that's the physical location, that circle, is it, of the horizon all around you, Brenda?
It's a physical location on a geometric horizon. Yes, it's a physical location.
I think you mean tangible, Brenda.
I mean physical.
But physical, light
Black
is physical,
Swan.
Brenda. Hang on, Neil. Light is physical, Brenda.
I refuted the black swan. I took it away from Nathan.
Come on, Neil, please.
Okay.
Just don't give her an
Brenda.
opportunity. She's after saying the Earth gets in its own way. It obstructs itself.
Yeah, that's what happens.
So that's like you obstructed. You want to walk in. You want to walk through a doorway, but you are obstructing yourself in front of yourself. That's basically what you're saying.
The reason you can't see the other side of a baseball is because the front side gets in the way.
What has that got to do with your claims concerning the horizon?
That's what a horizon is. The Earth gets in the way.
What's the horizon? The geometric edge of a globe.
Globes don't have edges. They're
So
curved.
the geometric edge of a globe. Is that what you're claiming? Because they don't have a horizon.
It doesn't have
There's
an
no
edge.
horizon of the globe. Horizon is a rate of slope 0.
Right, I just got to interject. So up until 2020, the globe, and still to this day, if you look at the actual rhetoric of a globe, is that there's a physical geometric sphere edge at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height and feet that blocks your feet and inches value of distant items. That would be the edge that obscures those feet and inches that are claimed in the Earth curve maths. Because it's been debunked by the Black Swan, Brenda's denying that the globe has an edge to block things like boats and buildings at a feet and inches value as laid down in the maths. Essentially, she's denying her own Earth curve maths.
I debunked your Black Swan.
Why'd you stop me?
Hang on, no. Brenda, right? What is the horizon? Is it the geometric edge of a globe?
The horizon is the point where the Earth comes between you and the rest of the globe.
So it is it. So you are claiming it's a geometric edge of a globe. So you are claiming it's the geometric edge of a
Brenda
globe.
and Brian. Let me just get some order. I'm sorry, Brenda. Yes, Johnny. After Brenda and Brian are concluded.
So
Spheres don't
Brenda,
have
you are
edges.
claiming it's the geometric edge of a globe, Art.
No, there's no edge.
Well, you
Globes
just
don't
said it
have an
was.
edge.
You just said a minute ago it was.
No, I didn't.
Well, I asked you
I
what the
said it's the-
horizon was.
Okay,
You
I
said
made my summary, but I'll have to do it
Oh,
again.
yeah.
I'm really sorry, Brian and Brenda. So it's not an edge blocking boats and buildings. Brenda's denying her own claim.
No, I'm not.
No, she
I'm
said
saying
it
the
was.
Earth gets in the way.
So is it an edge blocking boats and buildings? A geometric edge, Brenda, blocking boats and buildings.
It's a point beyond which objects are obstructed from your view, depending on your height above the Earth.
So it's beyond the obstruction. You just said it's a point beyond which objects are obstructed from their view. So that'll be an obstruction, and then the horizon is past that. So, like
It's
looking at,
relative
let's just
to your
say,
height.
let's say an oil rig is obstructing my view past the oil rig, but there's an horizon past that. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh.
Like in the Black Swan image?
No, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
the
that's what
Black
you just
Swan.
said. You just described that.
I debunked your Black Swan. I refuted it.
So even the leading edge of a globe, the leading geometric edge of a globe, it's a closed question.
I refuted your Black Swan And you're
So
still
is
not
the
understanding.
blockage geometric, Brenda, then? Okay, is the blockage that you're claiming geometric?
It is the Earth physically
Is the
becoming
blocking you're
between
claiming
you.
geometric, yes or no?
Yeah, on a sphere necessarily.
Is the blockage you're claiming geometric, yes or no? Stop wasting everyone's time, Brenda.
I was explaining it. It is
I don't need an
necessarily.
explanation. I just need a yes or no. I didn't ask you for an explanation. I asked you if you answer a closed question. Is the blockage you're claiming a geometric blockage?
Yeah, you don't get to dictate the conversation.
So yeah, so is that a yes?
The Earth comes between you
Is that a
and the
yes?
distant
So is
object.
the blockage you're claiming a geometric blockage, Brenda?
It is necessarily geometric, yes.
So it's been debunked by the Black Swan. It's a hill.
I debunked the Black Swan. I took your Black Swan away from
Let's
you.
just go through it for the audience's benefit. So if the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 59 miles, then every distance to the hill, geometric sphere edge horizon, Earth curve, every distance to that hill could be measured no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer sine feet, as dictated by Earth curve maths, where it's got a geometric hill edge in the way. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan is beyond the limitations of a geometric sphere edge hill in the way, at 1.2 times the square root of the observer sine feet. Therefore, the horizon's not a hill in the way. Earth's not a sphere based on the claim that there's a hill in the way, called Earth curve.
According to Brenda,
where did you get 1.22
based
from?
off your roy height, that horizon will be 1.225 times the square root of your roy height. In distance
Your
away.
Earth curve maths. She asked where he got it from. I just answer her. Your Earth curve maths.
No, you didn't. You got it from.
No, Johnny, not yet.
You got it from the Green Flash's website, right? Where he's talking about there not being an atmosphere, didn't he? You're deliberately lying, Nathan.
That's your geometry of your globe, Brendan.
Sorry, atmospheres
does it take
and
refraction
just
into
address
account?
what she said. I'm sorry. She said, I'm not paying attention to somebody who's describing oxymoronic sphere-shaped air without containment. That's an oxymoron. See, gases take the shape of their containment. So to suggest that I should be paying attention to a different set of formulas that aren't the well-established Earth curve mathematics laid out in many different places that you're decrying because you don't want there to be an edge that's been debunked by the Black Swan because of atmosphere, well, that would mean that I had to accept that we've got atmosphere, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. We don't.
Gas pressure doesn't require a container. That's false.
I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about Brenda anymore. Because, I mean, Brenda, what is the point of you turning up somewhere just to tell total lies every day?
Because I'm
every
right
single
and you're
time
wrong.
I've ever spoken to you, you're around a good few years. Every single time I've ever spoken to you, there hasn't been one conversation or exchange where you didn't tell a straight out total lie.
Well, I've always told the truth. Everything I've said here is the
You've
truth.
never told the truth. It's the only thing. That's another lie. I've always told the truth. It's another lie. After you just told a massive lie.
Yep.
Brenda, you can go and look at any sailing. You can look at any sailing manual, Brenda, and it's going to tell you the distance to horizon at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's in sailing manuals. Just jump on Google and have a little read for yourself.
That's a good point, and I will also give a point to Brenda. She cannot be physical as like Oliver Newton-John. That's just a fact of reality. You cannot block the reality, Brenda. And, okay, in other words, the Earth has been measured flat, and all of these talking points that you see in the air just now is meaningless because it has been proved that the Earth is measured flat, and I can tell you how it is done. And if you don't understand it, maybe you have to go and educate you, Brenda, because an elevation angle needs a line. It's two lines in the beginning, but it has to meet in the end. That we call triangulation, but it's not triangulation of height. It's a two
Breaking up, Johnny.
descent with all the measurement together to know where you are in a point or on the ocean, for example. You can only do that if
We've lost you again, dude. But we do have Rich Evans who would like to contribute to the refraction discussion from our chat. Rich, you want to unmute your microphone and actually discuss what you're putting in the chat here? No, he's okay, thanks. He just wants to spam the chat.
I'm just wondering if Brenda understands what I'm talking about. If Brenda can give any debate against it, of course she can, or he cannot do that because she cannot do that because it's overwhelming knowledge. So now Brenda is not saying anything because she really have to think. She cannot have any debate against it. Cannot say anything against it. That's how I was saying.
He's probably not saying anything because he's server muted.
It's a mood.
What's your response, Brenda?
Okay, take it on mood. Let's see if you can say something against it.
What's the question?
Oh, so you were not listening. I said, you have anything to say against the flat Earth measurement using the elevation angle, and you need 2 lines, and the other lines is 180. 180 against the elevation angle. That is to GP, and GP goes up to or the star or whatsoever you can take it down with the instrument that we call sextant down to the horizon, and then you get circle of equal altitude around the GP, the ground position. And listen to the word. Circle of equal altitude is equal altitude over a big area. And if it is, it cannot be a curved area then. Do you understand that, Brenda?
It's hilarious that you think that that's what the circle of equal altitude is. You haven't got a clue. Nathan doesn't know what the circle of equal altitude is.
Why are you bringing hold on, stop, everyone stop. Please, can you stop? Please, Neil, shut up. Neil, can you shut your mouth? Now, why are you bringing my name into it? You're talking to Johnny, who's a former navigator, a ship's captain. When you're now bringing my name into it, like you're not talking to Johnny, or what's going on?
Nathan Oakley's a lying bitch, you fucking bitch! Child abuse!
Neil, can you please stop getting so triggered? Because you're just throwing as much fuel on the fire as they would like you to. Please, can you stop doing that?
I was trying to say Johnny's a navigator.
Neil, please, can you pop yourself on mute and just calm down for a minute? Thank you.
Okay, I'm just wondering how Brenda can say right over over the internet and to my ear how wrong I am about the circle of equal altitude. I am very nice to listen to explanation what circle of equal altitude is.
You don't know what it is, Johnny. You don't know what the circle of equal altitude is.
Okay, tell me about it. I am open ears.
Right, it's the locus of points at which a given celestial object is at a given altitude above horizontal, right?
Yeah, what is horizontal?
Perpendicular to your zenith.
What is the reference? It's a reference to plane, right? So
no, the horizontal is the plane. It's perpendicular to your local vertical.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Okay,
that doesn't prove it.
Okay, take it easy. There's all the way there. If Brenda don't understand this, then maybe Brenda has to understand that if you are from one distance from the GP, you should be able to go around the GP and have the same distance in the circle.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh, really?
Right. No, it's not
like
true.
If you have something from the middle point and you take a round of it, you get a circle, right? It's like a 3.14 of pi, you man. Yeah,
some
of course it is.
some circles of altitude are not, perfect geometric, are not a fixed radius from the GP.
You're making
Yes,
fool
they
of
are,
yourself
Brenda.
now, Brenda.
Right? You don't know what you're talking about, right? The circle of
Brenda is
altitude
at present
is
lying
a set
for
of
anyone who wants
points.
to know.
Yeah,
If
she's
anyone
lying.
wants to know, I'll take her apart here now.
Yeah,
Brenda,
you still don't
you're
understand
trying to
how the
contradict
moon
what you just said to
rotates.
Johnny a second ago. Could you please do something for us? You know this horizontal you're claiming? How is that established, Brenda?
What?
How do we establish this horizontal
What's
that you're
happening?
claiming is perpendicular to them?
Yeah, John. The only way
One
we
second,
don't have to
Johnny.
talk about
One
it
second,
for
Johnny.
the audience, and just for the audience, if you put a string in the middle of something and go around it,
She's not
you get
denying that,
equal
Johnny.
circle,
She's not
right?
denying that. She's trying to just
I
say
am
it's not
denying
the
that.
Earth. She's
I
trying
am
to say it's
denying
not
that.
the Earth. So I'm asking her to define how this horizontal she's claiming is established. So Brenda, how do you establish this horizontal? What do you need to establish it?
You can
From the deck of a
if you're
boat.
on land, you can put a
From the
pan
deck
of
of a
oil
boat, I
on the
said,
ground.
from the deck of a boat with a marine sextant, how do you establish the horizontal?
You could use a bubble sextant if you're in an airplane.
Not on the boat, you can't.
No.
You can't use a bubble sextant on a boat.
That's
How do you
correct.
establish the
reference to
horizontal?
the plane.
How do you establish the
Right, you make-
horizontal with a marine sextant on the deck of a boat?
On the deck of a boat, then you take the dip to the horizon, you subtract that, and then you can
How
get
do you know the
your
dip? How do you know the dip?
horizontal.
How do you know the dip, Brenda?
That typically is in the books these days.
No, how do you know it? How do you know? How do you know what the dip should be?
You can calculate it based on your height above the sea.
Calculate it. You don't calculate a dip.
Yes, you do.
You
It's a
don't. You
calculation.
measure your height of a port. And if
No,
your height of
it's a
above
calculation.
the water underneath your boat, see that we have to talk through me now because I'm about to annihilate you. If your height of oil, measure that port is 35 feet above the water underneath your boat. That means the water that's at the horizon is also only 35 feet below your oil line. So if that horizon is 15 miles away from you, that means the water from underneath your boat to the horizon is a horizontal. That's horizontal water.
No,
Brenda.
it doesn't.
There is no other way to establish that horizontal.
That
You don't know what
doesn't
you're
follow
talking about.
logically.
All you do when you're trying to lie your way around it like normally.
It doesn't follow logically what you said.
No, yes it does. You see the way
No,
you
it
people
doesn't.
see the way there's all this talking going on as I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to tell you. At port, you measure your height of oil. If that height of oil is 35 feet above the water below your boat, then when you're out to sea, when you take your angle between the horizon, the visible sea horizon, and the celestial body, you only subtract for that 35 feet. Because the water at the horizon is the water at the horizon is presumed to only be 35 feet below your oil line also. So that's why when you go to the almanac, the corrections in the almanac, the dip corrections in the almanac, that's why they fit a flat plane and not a globe.
No, they don't. Right? The dip to horizon
they don't
isn't
fit a
your
globe,
height
Bradley. They
above
fit
the
a flat
ocean.
plane. When you do the
You're
math,
just
they don't
wrong.
fit. They don't. 50 foot.
No, the dip to horizon is not.
A 50-foot oil height on a globe would be 0.2. Is it 0.24 degrees? I think it is, or 0.024 degrees. Whereas the correction is 0.016 or 0.017. That's not a globe.
Dip to horizon is not your height above
Even the mathematics
above the
that you
ocean.
have to claim, even the mathematics that globers have to come up with to try and address that involves a dip correction off of a tangent plane. Your dip is off of a tangent plane, which is we assume to be a straight line out from underneath your boat.
You're going to need a flat earth for that. With that, though, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord, Politics Discord, and G+ Panels for making today's live show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980... Oh, it's still live, isn't it? In Nathan Oakley live stream for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Stay tuned if you are watching on an after show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.